I hope spring has sprung where you are. If not, rest assured, this recipe will bring all the warm weather feels. Here with this spin on a spring tabbouleh is Chef Jason Parsons. And Jay, we know that spring is a date on the calendar, even though it looks like you are in the tundra right now. We are in spring. We need to start thinking about spring flavors.
Yeah, well, the body might be in a little bit of kind of winter left over, but my heart is in the spring. So, but yeah, you know, I am so done with the winter food. I want spring flavors. I mean, well, Tracy, what are you looking forward to as far as spring flavors?
Oh my gosh, I want to skip right to barbecues in the summer. Am I allowed to go that fast? Like, I want a burger on the barbecue, no?
Well, you can. There's no rules. But for me, you got to get into this. I mean, spring is all about that asparagus, the fiddleheads, you know, the rhubarb's happening. It just seems like things start to come to life, you know. And you're right. Like, we got to remember that spring in the garden and spring on the calendar are two different things, right?
Yeah.
We may be able to start planting things, but as Frankie would always go on about, there's a time for things to grow, right?
I know we got to wait for the weather to cooperate, but before we get into this recipe, I want to show people what we're going to be focusing on and what we're making. It's all about the spring peas with this recipe, which I love. So you are making a lemon spring pea tabouleh with feta cheese, chickpea, toasted almonds, and fresh mint. This is spring. Where do we start, Chef?
The first thing you got to do is get the couscous going. And, you know, a tabbouleh can be done with couscous, which is more the Moroccan flair, which I've traveled through Morocco, so I kind of lean towards that a little bit. But then there's Israeli couscous, which is the big pearly couscous, which is more like a pasta. And then you get into Lebanese, which is more like the bulgur wheat and things like that. But couscous is one of the easiest things to cook, because all you do is you take a pot, and you can see, because it's a little cold outside, I started a little bit, but I've got some chicken stock or veg stock, and then a little bit of white wine. And I've put some Sauvignon Blanc in there because it's bright, fresh flavors. And then some spices. Now, for me, cumin is always great, so you just drop that in. A little bit of turmeric is going to give you that pungency, but it also brings the yellow into the actual couscous. At this point, you can make it your own. You literally are just making a nice, flavorful broth. And this is the heart and soul of your couscous because it's going to give you the flavor. This is the easy part, though. You bring that to a boil, and you literally just pour that right over top. And of course, you can see I always measure things out perfectly here, right? But at home, you measure it out. But just mix it up a little bit. You don't have to do much, just to get it kind of combined. And then what you're going to do is just take some cling film, put it over top, nice and tight, and leave it on the counter for 15 minutes. Oh. That's how long it takes. That's how easy it is.
Very easy. Okay, so the couscous is going to do its own thing. And while it's doing that, what are we going to do next?
Well, let's go on a little journey through spring garden, because for me it is all about the peas. And you know, I've got like snow peas, snap peas. I got the petit pois, which always makes me feel very French because I got the petit pois, but it's just green peas. But what we're going to do is we're just going to start adding these all in. So, and I'm going heavy with the peas because for me, spring is about the green vegetables, even though there are other things happening. So with this, and I've lightly blanched everything ahead of time because it just helps to give it a little bit of crunch, but it also brings the flavor out a little bit. These are pea shoots, which are always nice. You know, just add in there a little bit of texture to your couscous. And then we need the bases. So I've got a nice shallot that I've finely chopped up. You know, you can add those in there. If you wanted a little bit more of a toasty flavor, you could actually saute this off, put your spices in there and roast it. But for a fresh flavor, we're just going to go with that. Some chopped garlic. Again, if you want stronger, you could roast off the garlic and throw that in there. And then look, cucumbers. Fresh cucumbers. I like the English cucumbers, nothing to do with the fact that I was born in England, but they're just a little bit more delicate, and what I do is I actually peel them and seed them. You can leave the seeds in if you want, but they do have a little bit of a bite to them. Fresh tomatoes, just diced up. Chickpeas. This is kind of where that little bit of texture comes in. You know, you get that kind of crunch in there. So we're going to throw those in, and you can just use canned chickpeas, or you can get your own and cook them. When you cook them, you can add flavor. Feta cheese. It's such a great cheese because it's salty and it also holds up. But if you want to change it up, you can make it whatever cheese you want. Toasted almonds, again for the crunch, a little bit of roastiness, and I love the color of them in there as well. But isn't this already looking amazing? Like, look at that.
It's looking fantastic. And for me, when you're doing a recipe like this that's so healthy with all those greens, I need some crunch. So I need those toasted almonds. I need those chickpeas. The chickpeas are going to make it feel like a real meal, as well as the couscous when that's done. It's looking amazing, Chef.
Well, and that's it, is it can be served as its own dish. You know, I'm doing that today, but it's also great as a side with lamb or with salmon. But I just put like nice lemon zest in there, some lemon juice, and then I've actually got a whole bunch of just fresh mint that I'm just taking and some nice curly parsley, and you just literally just chop this down rough. And then you go to the couscous. Now, we are probably pretty close to real time on the one that we just did. You can almost see it starting to cook already. And what I would do is I would take a fork and just flake that down, and that's good to go. Of course, you know me. I always have one ready to go.
Because he's prepped like
So,
that.
but this one here, yeah, but what's nice is you can actually fluff it up. You can even put it between your hands, but you're just gonna sprinkle that in, and that is beautiful. So many flavors, so many textures, maybe a little bit of a pepper in there, a little bit of salt. Now, you'll notice there's no oils or vinegars or anything else in here. You know, you can actually put a dressing on it if you want, but really that broth is going to give it the flavor, and then also the lemon juice. But look how fresh and like there's nothing. That's spring. You know, come on. So I would just take that, serve it on a plate, and like I said, you could serve it up as a salad, or you could serve it with like some grilled salmon. Spring's here.
You know what I love about it? You know what I love about it? Even while you're in your puffer jacket talking about spring, I like that you I like that you made a big bowl of it, because this is the sort of thing you can't get enough of. Enjoy it. It is healthy. It is delicious. Go ahead, make me jealous. Spring can't come soon enough, man. So good, chef. That recipe is on cityline.tv.